Today was a very exciting day. We've got Chris Stevens of Stevens Excavation helping me with my septic. So this farm is in Williamson County, which is notoriously very difficult for septic. Chris put in a big, huge curtain drain pursuant to my septic permit requirements. And then what he's doing right now is digging the field lines. The county just came out to make sure that the soil was dry enough to put the field lines in. Then Chris's colleague is coming out. They've got to put some boards in to make sure they're deep enough. I don't quite understand what that's about, but hopefully it's a race against the clock because the county employees get off around, I don't know, 3 or 4. If they come back out and okay everything, then we're good to go. We're trying to fight the rain tomorrow. And so all of this has been a bit delayed because we've had a tremendously wet spring here in Tennessee. We've got stone. Chris, where does the stone go? Okay, the stone goes in the curtain drain.
Get these trenches dug, go at the bottom of those.
Okay. So Chris is getting his level, right?
Transit,
yeah. Making sure that everything is done correctly. You can see these stakes here. That's part of the soil grid that my soil scientist and surveyor had to put in. It's just been a tremendously long process. But if you look all the way back up here where the pole barn is, that's where the tanks will go, and I'll do another video of that. But the tanks go in there, and then a pipe comes down alongside the pond, I guess, and then the curtain drain is to protect the field line. So Chris and Straley have a lot of work to do today in only a few short hours, but I know they'll get it. Here's our field lines. So Chris and Straley are putting in 3 field lines. Chris is on the X, and Straley is hidden by the X, but he's measuring how deep how deep the field lines are. You can see this plastic pipe's got a bunch of holes in it, got gravel, and then it's sitting on I think a 1x6. I don't quite know why. I know that that's unique to Williamson County, and I think it's got something to do with the height, to make sure when the inspectors come back that they know how deep it is. I don't quite know. I think it's, yeah, something like that. I don't remember. But these I think are 2 feet deep, and then the curtain drain is what surrounds it. So this is the first of the field lines, and there we go. So the inspector's coming back out in a few hours, and hopefully we'll sign off, which is great that we can beat the rain coming in for the next few days. So we're out here now, and Chris is, Straley, is this the third line? Yep. So got county inspection going on right now. Got the 3rd field line. There's 3 lines, and what happens is the water goes into the septic tank when you flush the toilet, goes out through what is called a tight line, and then goes through 3 different series. I just learned this. There's like 3 different trenches, and the water gets passed into each field line to get cleaned up. Sorry, I'm in your way, aren't I? Okay. So it's a lot. It's much more excavation than I had anticipated. But luckily we have a dry and sunny day. And then these are 1x6s. And so the way it works is here's one without a 1x6. I'll show you what it looks like with a 1x6. And I think they're doing that to make sure that the black pipe in here is level. So you can see all the stone, 1x6, and the black piping. And then I don't know what these little channels are called, but those are connected through PVC. And that's how the water runs from each field line to the next. So Shirley has the laser, has the pole, I guess, I don't know what the right word is for it, but there is right there shooting out a laser, and so when it hits 2 feet, it's gonna beep, because these have to be 2 feet deep. There you go. Lots of work. So Chris and Straley were working on digging the septic for the septic tanks. We have to have 2 tanks next to each other, and they hit a whole bunch of rock, so we're going to be delayed a bit. Chris has to get some kind of I don't know if it's called a hammer, some kind of hydraulic thing that breaks up the rock. So one of them is going to use that equipment and the other one's going to be scooping out the rock pieces as they get chipped. So it's pretty substantial. I mean, I would guess that's 6 feet at least by maybe 4, you know, and you can see here it's really deep. You can see a lot of Tennessee clay, lots of rock. So pushes us back a little bit. Of course, you know, it makes it a little more expensive because now the guys have to rent specialized equipment, but it's fairly common here, and that's why if you're doing construction work, you have to have a rock clause in your agreements. And Chris has one that's basically like, here's my estimate, but if we hit rock, then the price is probably going to change. And good for him that he put that in there. So anyways, hopefully by the end of this week we've got septic going. I showed you already where the field lines are. Then the tank goes here, just to show you the proximity. Got the pole barn, the big barn. Finally got the second electric pole from Middle Tennessee, which is a big deal. And then a pipe called the tight line is going to run from here down to where the leach field is, which is kind of south of the pond. Here's the piece of equipment, and I forget the name of it, but you can see here it's just this like giant jackhammer, right? And that's what Chris used to pound out the rock. It's got a big old crane. Unfortunately, I missed this morning where Chris and Straley had rented, it's like kind of big jackhammer type thing to break up the rock. And they said it went pretty well. Luckily the rock wasn't solid all the way through. So as you can see, they've broken up the rock. And I think one of them was pounding the rock and then the other one was scooping it with the bucket. And then we've got stone in, and I think next step is to put the tanks. So definitely a lot of work. They're connecting the septic to the structure. You can see where the effluent would come out. Here, we've got our tanks in. 2 really big tanks. We're waiting for the county to come out to inspect. And then you can see they trenched what is called the tight line that goes to the leach field south of the pond. So it's quite a project that I've never really thought about. But this is what septic is like. And this is what, you know, different counties in the state of Tennessee have different rules. Williamson is one of the hardest, and this is what they're requiring. How far deep does that have to go?
There's not a depth. It's got to be on a straight grade.
It's not like electric or water where it has to be.
Well, there is. Like we're limited by the depth of the inlet there on the tank. So
yeah,
usually
true.
by the tank it's not real deep.
Okay.
But this road bed was so high, it's probably
I know
2.5, 3 foot deep here.
I know
This was here originally.
I know the elevation here is tricky, and they really built that driveway up.
Yeah, they did.
This is the rock hammer in action. Australia are putting in the trench from the electric pole so that the electrician can. Why Tennessee is called the Rocky Top. And you can see here, the septic tanks are in and covered. There's the riser. And we're just waiting on the final visit from the county.